From Delray Beach, Florida, welcome to the
GCN Show. And Merry Christmas.
Welcome to the GCN Show.
This week, is power to weight ratio actually the be-all and end-all, or are top pro teams looking for other qualities in their new recruits? Because from what we've heard, it sounds like things are changing.
It does. We've also got a special Christmas edition of Hacks and Bodges, Wout van Aert selling more stuff, and a Christmassy Extreme Corner.
Yeah, we've gone all out today.
We have gone all out on the set. Had gone all out on the set. This week in the world of cycling, we learned that you win some, you lose some. The Namur World Cup course looked insanely tough, as ever, with Tom Pidcock, freshman's win in the Rookfin World Cup the day before, showing just how hard it was.
Yeah, although Lucinda Brand and Michael van Toornout made it look quite easy, actually, on their way to victories, didn't it?
Both of them crashed, though, didn't they, during the race?
Right.
We also learned, though, which is quicker, a superbike or a crap moped. Unfortunately, you are going to have to wait until January for the answer to that, but we can give you a sneak peek of just how crap the moped and its rider look.
Quite crap.
No, not
yeah.
at all.
Now, finally this week, we learned that if you've got sweaty feet, Adidas have the answer.
And if you know someone with sweaty feet, keep a Perspex screen between you. Those shoes do look cool, though, don't they? So.
Yeah, I see what you did there. I actually don't have sweaty feet, weirdly. Yeah. Lots of other things sweaty. But anyway, we also learned this week that pro cycling teams are going back to basics when it comes to finding new talent.
So back in the days before everybody had data, pro teams would look at results of young riders when choosing who they were going to sign up next.
Sounds sensible?
Well, it is a good basis upon which to make a decision like that, isn't it? However, whilst results have continued to be important in grabbing the attention of those top pro teams, in these modern data-driven times, power numbers have become almost as important.
They have, which also makes sense, doesn't it? Every team in the world knows what numbers are required to win the biggest races, and so if they see these numbers in a young aspiring pro, they surely have the potential to win big, even if they haven't done so already.
Exactly. And there are, I think, a few examples of young riders who have turned pro, even if their results in the junior under-23 category aren't quite there, but that the engine clearly is there. I guess a bit like a rough diamond that just needs a bit of polishing before it sparkles. Yeah.
There are quite a few rough diamonds out there that won't sparkle no matter how much polishing there are there. And also, in having so many data points out there, and in having power meters from a young age, there are more and more riders who, in testing conditions, can produce world-class numbers, aren't there? So it's also why the differences in the high mountains are less than they've ever been, aren't they? And why Grand Tours are often being won not by minutes, but in seconds.
Bonus seconds, actually, in many cases over recent years, because the margins between them all at the top end are so small. And so, from what we've heard on the grapevine, teams are going back to looking much more at rider qualities beyond power output. Do they have that racer instinct? Do they handle their bike well? Are they able to make explosive race-winning efforts at the end of a long, hard event?
Yeah, and beyond that, what's their temperament like? I mean, are they team players? Are they potential team leaders? How well are they able to deal with disappointments, of which there are many in pro racing?
There are a lot. I mean, every single race we did was a disappointment for us, wasn't it? Although, to be fair, I do feel like I dealt with that disappointment very well indeed.
Yeah, that is a good quality to have. In other words, you're a bit of a glutton for punishment.
Yeah, that would be an apt description of my attitude, yes. Now, if you haven't yet watched the Zwift Academy finals that were running last week here on GCN, you should probably cover your ears now if you don't want to hear the results. And it is well worth watching, should I say, if you haven't already watched them. But anyway, whilst there was a clear winner in every aspect, really, in the women's finals, the men's one, it was a much closer one to call. I wouldn't want to be one of the judges at Alps and Phoenix, let's put it that way.
No, because not only was there a spread of age from 19 to 26, but also a spread of specialities. Because you had Cooper, one end of the spectrum, who had the best sprint of the five, to Sam, who knocked it out of the park in the first 3 days, producing numbers that many riders already in the World Tour would be proud of.
They were good numbers, weren't they?
They were good numbers.
But the Alpes in Phoenix judges, as they pointed out multiple times
over
these 5 episodes, felt that he had a diesel engine, i.e. they could see that he produced a large amount of power for a long period of time, but they were sceptical as to whether he could make the big accelerations that you'd get with a petrol V12 engine, I guess, the type of accelerations that win you bike races, and particularly because he pedalled with quite a low cadence of around 80, and they felt that wouldn't be sustainable in long pro races, and especially in multi-day stage races.
That's right, yeah. Now, that outlook may well have been because they were looking for a particular style of rider to complete their 2022 team roster, and that Sam maybe just didn't quite fit the bill. Or it could be that they were seeing something beyond the numbers.
Could be, yeah. I mean, I can personally understand their final decision because over the years, I have seen a lot of riders who can produce an enormous, extraordinary power to weight ratio, but they don't transfer that into results. Now, that might be down to an inability to position themselves in a bunch. It might be a lack of bike handling prowess. They might use too much energy before they even get to a critical moment of a particular race. Or it simply might be they're not able to produce that power after 5 hours of racing or multiple days of racing.
Yeah, you see, that last one, that's the big one for me. The more racing I watch, the more time goes by, the more I realise how being able to do big numbers up a Strava KOM, even a long one, just doesn't translate necessarily into being a good pro, does it? We touched on this a few months back with that whole resistance to fatigue element of physiology. And it's also something that those Zwift Academy finals actually showed us too by episode 5, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. And I guess that's kind of the pyramid of sport, isn't it? At the top of pro bike racing, you have the riders with everything. Tadej Pogacar, I guess, being a prime example, along with Anna van der Breggen. Physiological excellence, fatigue resistance that you've just mentioned, tactical prowess, leadership qualities, superhuman powers of recovery, but along with all that, an incredible desire to succeed.
Yeah. Now, as you go down that pyramid, you might have riders with some, but not all of those qualities.
And then at the bottom of that pyramid, there was you and me, Simon.
Yeah, that's right. Incredible desire, but very little else.
We were fully committed,
weren't
we? On a hide into nothing, some people might say, but very, very committed nonetheless.
Well, except with stretching. I never used to do stretching. But yeah, I think, to be fair, I think we were just naively hopeful. Were we really?
Yes. We thought something might click at some point.
Yeah, that's right. But riding at the same level as some riders who had more talent but were just lazy.
Well, exactly, yes. So in conclusion, if you're seeing riders turn pro at the same age as you with higher numbers, that doesn't necessarily mean that you can't turn pro or that you can't win big bike races. If you're close, but not quite there numbers-wise, but you can handle your bike like Mathieu van der Poel, hide in the bunch like Mark Cavendish and read a race like Marianne Vos, you can definitely still get noticed and still have a fantastic racing career.
Yeah, I reckon if you're going to hide like Cav, you probably better have a good sprint on you at the end of the day as well. At the same time, though, we've got to say, it's important not to kid yourself. If you're in your 40s with an FTP in the low 200s, you're not going to turn pro, even if you are incredibly aero, only 130 centimetres.
Oh, so pleased was he with his joke, he couldn't even say 130 centimetres. Cheers, Si. Write me off at your peril, Richardson.
Cool.
I will be back at the Zwift Academy next year. Won't be as a presenter, you'll have to find a new one, Si. I won't be there to stalk Van der Poel, some sort of weird psychotic fan either. I'm there to win, and therefore I will get to play ping pong with him as a pro.
No, you definitely sounding weird. I'm very deluded. Now, of course, most of us aren't turning pro, are we? Or trying to turn pro. But the same kind of thing applies, doesn't it? Not every cyclist is good at everything, but we can all have something, can't we? Like a cycling superpower, sprinting, ability to do long rides, short hill climbs, providing banter on group rides, that's a prized commodity, looking cool, whatever it is, just play to your strengths.
Yes, exactly. Right, what are your thoughts on this subject? Have you seen any riders out there with incredible numbers who just cannot get results, or vice versa? Let us know in the comment section below.
Yeah. Now, moving on, there are a lot of bad news stories in the media, aren't there? And with good reason, because there's quite a lot of bad stuff going on.
There is, yeah. In cycling too, unfortunately, with a lot of stories, particularly about bike theft. But we wanted to share a thoroughly good news story with you now.
It does start badly. So brace yourselves, everyone. Richard and Maureen Sweeney were here in the UK recently for the Masters Cyclocross World Championships. And they actually happened to be visiting my hometown of Bristol when Richard's bike was stolen whilst they were at a cafe.
Worse than that, it wasn't just Richard's bike, it was also going to be Maureen's all-important spare bike for the upcoming World Championships.
However, Let it be said, the cycling community is awesome. A chap called Stuart Price, so big shout out to you, lent Maureen a bike and a van to sit in pre-race so that Maureen could still compete at the Worlds.
Not just compete, she duly went on and won the World Championships, and then literally, as they were about to board the plane to fly home, they received a call.
The bike had been found. Yes, the total legends at the Avon and Somerset Police, our local police force, had tracked the bike from the moment it was stolen on CCTV, then located the culprit and got the bike back. And so here it is in all its glory. A little bit late for the Worlds, a little bit late to fly home with, but nevertheless safe and sound in Bristol in the UK and not where it's supposed to be in the USA. But through the power of yet some more awesome people in the cycling world, we are going to get this bike back home in time for Christmas. So step one is that the police have dropped the bike off here to our local bike shop, BW Cycling. Ali here has checked the bike over. How's it looking?
It's looking really good to me.
Is it?
Yep, perfect.
That is a stroke of luck, isn't it? But very cool. Then step two is that Bike Flights, you can see on that box there, Bike Flights, which is a dedicated bike shipping service, have very, very kindly agreed to actually send this bike back to the States, pretty much first class as far as I can tell. So they've sent one of the dedicated boxes here to BW. Ali is going to pack it in there, and there's also a tracker that's going to go in there as well, which will give hourly updates across the whole journey home, so there's no more going missing for this bike. And then, all being well, it should be back home in time for a Christmas bike ride, which is wicked, isn't it? So that box has just literally come to you flat packed, right?
Yep, completely flat packed. Everything you see there has been used for that box.
Sweet, that's cool. Right, should we crack on? Should we do some packing?
Let's do it.
Well, check it out. It's ready to go. Ali, thank you so much.
No problem,
That
you're
was
welcome.
awesome. It was great watching you work.
Thanks.
It was something to behold. But yeah, there we go. Thank you, Bike Flights, as well, for getting it back. And Rich and Maureen, happy Christmas. Enjoy your festive bike rides. There we go. How cool is that? Thank you once again to the folks at BW Cycling and Bike Flights as well, of course, for helping to get Richard's bike back.
That's a very cool story.
It
indeed,
is.
isn't it?
I
Very
love it.
inspirational. Might not need any more inspiration now, but anyway, that is exactly what we are going to give you. Just before we crack on with the 3 winning photographs from this week, just a reminder, use hashtag Xmas if you're uploading festive photos to the GCN app, and they'll all be in the one place.
That's right. You use the hashtag in the description of the app uploads.
So it wasn't very
there,
specific
by
then.
the way. Yeah, right. Come on then. Who's in third place this week?
We have got Shell Thornborough, with this. Not a photo, as you can see, from out on the ride, but some Strava art. Merry Christmas from Windy, Wild and Wet Wensleydale. It's quite hard to say.
Oh, I'm glad you said it was Strava art, because I was thinking it's just like on that bike ride, it looks really annoying. They've obviously gone wrong on like loads of different times and turned around and
a
gone
load
back
of
again.
dead ends.
Yeah.
Well, no, for those of you that can't make it out, it was obviously a reindeer pulling a sled along. But anyway, here's a Christmassy mountain bike ride from the Dales, planned using old school methods of greaseproof paper, pencil, and an OS map.
Nice.
So I'm loving the sound of this already.
That is cool, isn't it? There we go.
There was a fair bit of running and hiking the bike involved, as I had to go on footpaths rather than bridleways.
So a bit of casual law breaking as well. Although if you're walking your bike on a footpath, I guess that's all right here in the UK. If you don't know what we're talking about, we've got some pretty antiquated and archaic rights of way laws in England, haven't we?
We won't go into those now. We'll be here all day. But well done to you, Shell. You will be receiving a GCN Elite water bottle, the bigger one.
Whoa, nice. Right, in second place this week, winning... Actually, I'm not entirely sure what you're winning.
GCN Pursuit maroon T-shirt and Elite Fly water bottle.
Sorry.
Aiden's catching up with him.
It's been a long year. It's been a long year. Anyway, winning is Julia, saying Summit might be a little bold here and it's the wrong bike too, but the ride was inspiring to us. How about that?
That is a cracking photo, isn't it?
It's fantastic. Yeah, no idea where it is or indeed what Julia's second name is, but still, looks amazing. Where in the world do you think that is?
Switzerland?
I'm zooming in on the cross. Souvenir de la mission. Yeah, I don't
We'll
know
get
what
back
that
to
is.
you. I mean, this is not top quality entertainment, is this? Our viewers will go on to first place, who will receive a GCN Core Red long sleeve jersey and a GCN Core fan pair of bib shorts. And that goes to Guesty and Pems. Doesn't get much better than this. Lovely festive spin to Tenby for a coffee and chat.
Nice.
When I first glanced at that, I thought it was one of those fantastic places on the coastline of Italy with the multicoloured houses, but it's in Tenby. But what a fantastic photo.
Tenby, which is in Wales, for those of you that don't know. That is a fantastic photo, isn't it? I love how that's kind of like a festive photo when there's absolutely nothing festive about it.
No, there's no Christmas decorations. They haven't made the same effort as we have here in the set.
Absolutely
for that photo,
not.
but still looks festive, I will agree with you.
Indeed, yeah. Nice bikes too. Right, there we go. That rounds out GCN Inspiration for another week. Do make sure that you keep uploading your photos and videos to the GCN app. And as Dan said, hashtag Xmas if you want to get festive. We'll pick some more winners next week.
It's now time for cycling shorts.
Cycling shorts now, and we're going to start with news that you can now buy Wout van Aert's Von 2 Tour de France stage-winning bike.
He's really milking this now, isn't he? I mean, first he's selling his result, then he sells the bike. What will it be next? Going to sell his chamois from that day, or what?
There's an image I didn't need, Dan. But still, it's actually not Wout van Aert this time. It's the team that's flogging his bike. And there's a whole load of them available on a Dutch auction site called katawiki.com. Stacks of them.
Well, teams always sell off their old bikes, don't they, at the end of the year? And it is quite a good way, I guess, of picking up quite a posh bike, which has been well looked after by the team mechanics, at least.
Yes. Just don't buy one of Geraint Thomas's old ones. Used and crashed only once.
Ouch.
Yeah, sorry.
On two counts there. So I reckon that I would go for Tom Dumoulin's road bike because it's the right size and hardly used, is it?
Yeah, well, let's hope he's not selling his chamois, that's for sure. Right, another image you don't want. Moving on, there is a bit of news from Komoot. You can now use Google Street View in the Komoot app to help with route planning. And this is massive, okay? I use Street View all the time when I'm route planning. And so it's fantastic to have it in one place as your route planning software.
A great update. Although it probably wouldn't have helped Pedro Bento, though, would it?
Who?
Pedro Bento. He is a Portuguese cyclist that Cycling Weekly reported has just cycled to Everest Base Camp solo, which is a casual 5,356 metres of elevation gain.
Yeah. I see what you've done there. You don't think Google Street View would have helped in there? They haven't been there yet.
No, I don't think they have they? It has got 40 reviews on Google, though, 4.8 stars.
Really?
The average review, so worth making the trek. Or cycle, I guess, now. Go careful, though, because Pedro got altitude sickness and had to be airlifted to Kathmandu.
I shouldn't laugh. That's very serious, isn't it? Moving on. I don't know how many of you out there are planning on doing the Rafa Festive 500 this year, but I don't imagine there'll be many of you who are planning on doing the whole 500 kilometres in a single ride.
No, I can't imagine there are. Although that's exactly what Kevin Denson of the Kingston Wheelers is doing right here in the UK. So he and 9 other cyclists will be riding 500 kilometres in one go on the famous outdoor velodrome, which is Herne Hill.
Crikey, 500 Ks on a velodrome.
Yes.
In doing so, not only will they be getting the challenge ticked off relatively quickly so they can then put their feet up and overeat for the rest of the holidays, they'll also be raising money for 2 charities, the Pink Ribbon Foundation and the Friends of Herne Hill Velodrome.
Yes, they start at 6 p.m. on the 27th of December. And if you live in the local area and would like to pop by to give some encouragement to them, you can do so until 9:30 that evening, at which point the gates will be closed. But they reopen again at 7 a.m. the following morning on the 28th of December.
Crikey, that sounds like a pretty grim schedule to keep, doesn't it? Alternatively, if you would like to donate, we'll put a link in the description below, of course.
Yeah, worthy causes. We'll finish cycling shorts with some prize winners. So up for grabs was one pair of Lund Hyper 50mm rim brake wheels, and they go to, just in case I don't put the drum roll on, Harry Thompson.
Hey, whilst the Hyper 50mm disc brake wheels go to John Kane. So well done to both of you. Well, not that you did anything. You just entered,
still
didn't
say
you?
well done.
Well done. Well done for winning. They've probably got a question right, didn't they? Anyway, happy Christmas to you both and enjoy.
Next up, Hack Bodge of the Week, special Christmas edition. Straight into it with this one from Mason Durant. Wheelie good wreath.
Yay!
Couldn't bring myself to throw an old Mavic Axiom wheel with C-spoke nipples away, so festooned it with foraged foliage for a festive display. That is a tongue twister and a half, my goodness.
That is, isn't it? Well done, mate. Festooned with foraged foliage. I like that. Do you know what would be even more like cool and hipster as if that was foraged whilst on a bike ride and you rode home with it all stuffed in your back pockets?
Yeah, or it just caught on the wheels and you didn't even have to do anything when you got back.
It's a hack from me.
It's a hack from me, and it's a hack from 81% of you.
Yeah, you can't not hack a festive wreath.
Apart from 19% of people.
Scrooges.
Yes.
Right, we got this one from Patty McManus. Cyclist Christmas ornaments. Use some old spare parts to make a compact Christmas tree. That is a very compact Christmas tree. And other ornaments, table pieces. There we go. Patricia, thank you very much for sending those ones in.
That's cool.
They are really cool, actually.
Although you wouldn't catch me doing that with my almost new campy super record cassettes lying around at home, because I think I wouldn't be able to sell them along for as much.
But look how many Patricia's made.
Well, I couldn't decide whether there was a mirror between at the end of the table. I don't think there is, because you can't see that computer behind. But yeah, that's a lot of Christmas cassette things.
But you've worn through a lot of cassettes, Patricia. Right, that's a hack from me.
It's a hack from me, and it's a hack from 87% of you.
Ooh, nice.
Next up, Sam B. Tremendous decoration. The puns are coming thick and fast from the viewers this week, aren't they?
On point.
My local bike shop, Rides on Air in Wallingford, Oxfordshire, found a use for old chains by making them into Christmas tree decorations. Hack or bodge? Well, I'm saying hack immediately.
Yeah, me
too. There's a theme going this week.
Yeah, I know. A hack for me.
I'm considering making some of them.
Really?
For our tree next year. I think they look great.
Yeah, no, they do look cool.
As to 94% of the viewers.
Presumably, you could also like change the shape, and then you could just be like a droopy, like baggy O shaped, couldn't it?
Well, that would be the lazier option, I guess, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Just put a piece of string through a chain.
Right then, we got live wires.
Live wire shock.
Live wire shock. That makes more sense.
Oh, there's one for you. Live wires hot. What's live wires hot got? That's as bad as my one earlier in the year.
A recycled bicycle Christmas tree. Now, we've got some scale here. In Lismore, New South Wales, Australia, the local city council created a Christmas tree out of recycled items from their waste management centre. After a popular effort in 2015, another tree made of bicycles has been created for 2021.
Hack.
Yeah, hack, but that's a lot of bikes dumped in the recycling thing, isn't it?
Well, I did think that, and that might be why 12% of people have gone for Bodge, thinking that maybe some of those were salvageable and perhaps could have been given to people that needed a bike. But as it's Christmas, I'm going to hack anyway.
Yeah, no, I'm going to go with benefit of the doubt as well. But potentially they're all Mavic Axioms with seized nipples, all of those wheels. But no, that's a good one, isn't it?
And the last one this week came in from Flobu. 3D printed Christmas decoration.
Why have you 3D printed a bike wheel for your Christmas
tree.
decoration?
3D printed and painted scale model of the Hunt 50 carbon aero wheels. I'm building a wheel set based on Hunt rims as a Christmas present for myself, and got inspired to do some decoration based on these.
I love the commitment. That's absolutely bonkers. But
well, I will not be making one of those for my Christmas tree, mainly because I don't think I can.
No, I mean, you definitely can't, can you?
But I'm going to say hack.
Yeah, go on, why not?
Well, yeah.
Is that a full house?
It's a full house of hacks, but not from you. 23% of you said that was a bodge.
Well, I mean, yeah, because it's a fairly poor Christmas decoration, isn't it? Especially if you go into the trouble of 3D printing it. Like, you could have gone for an angel, or like a Santa Claus, or like...
Well, then it wouldn't be on our cycling channel's Hacks or Bodges, would it?
No, it's true that. But anyway, there we go.
Well, that Hacks and Bodges fizzled out, didn't it, towards the end? Get involved ready for next week's show.
It's time now for Caption Competition, that part of the show where you get a chance to get your hands on a coveted GCN Elite water bottle. The photo that we gave you last week to Caption is this one, with Matthew van der Poel looking on, perhaps admiringly, perhaps disparagingly, at Dan drinking a beer. We joked actually last week, didn't we, that that might be the undoing of Matthew van der Poel's career.
He has since had to delay the start to his season of cycling.
He has, yeah, and they've said it's a knee injury, but we don't really know.
Do we believe that?
Yeah, absolutely. But anyway, who's the winner? Who's the Caption winner?
Well, some of you may remember that a certain Tim Bishop was banned from winning the Caption Competition for being too good. I think he was in possession of more bottles than you get on a team bus at some point. But we're going to have to give it to him because it was so good this week that we couldn't possibly not award him a win. His caption is, as Mathieu van der Poel looks upon his favourite GCN presenter, he thinks to himself, beauty really is in the eye of the beer holder.
Oh my word, Tim, I can forgive you that whole thing about favourite GCN presenter because that's still a raw nerve.
He's only repeating what Van der Poel himself said.
That's what I mean, it's a raw nerve. If Tim had said it, that's fine. It's the fact that Mathieu van der Poel said it. Anyway, but yeah, no, that's great. Yeah. Beer holder.
Probably don't need to send your address, Tim. I think we've got it on record. But do it anyway, just to remind us.
Right, okay. This is the photo for you all to get stuck into this week. We don't know who the rider is because they obviously covered their face up. No, we do. It's Michael van Toorn, isn't it, winning the Namur World Cup. Dan, do you want to get started?
The UCI has recently imposed stricter rules on cyclocross to help stop the spread of the Omicron virus variant. I already mucked that one up yet again, didn't I?
You have indeed, yeah. But still, I like that. That's quite funny.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Have you noticed that he's got a sponsor saying all nuts?
Oh, yeah.
Just at the very bottom of his stomach.
Yeah.
There we go. Right. See what you can do. Can you better Dan? You certainly could probably improve on the delivery.
Yes.
Couldn't you?
It wasn't the best this week, was it? Like you said, it's been a long year. So.
It has, yeah.
Just before we let you know what's coming up on GCN over the Christmas period, we're going to start with a few comments from last week's video. And this one came in underneath last week's show from Tips. I started cycling in November 2020 on a £500 Halford Boardman. Loved it so much that I upgraded my bike a month later to a Roubaix comp. Unfortunately, after just 500 miles, I got diagnosed with cancer on March the 21st. I had the all clear in November this year, and to celebrate, I did my first century last Sunday in 7 hours and 45 minutes.
Whoa, nice work. Tips. That's
great,
cool,
those
isn't
sorts
it?
of stories, aren't they?
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, yeah, fair play to you, and best of luck with. Well, it depends which way do you go. Do you just try and do your 100 faster, or do you go bigger and better?
I think I'd try and do my 100 faster.
I think I'd be tempted to as well now, having gone for a long bike
Sub
ride.
7 hours. It's coming.
Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, keep us posted, Tips. Right then, obviously GCN has been awash with our Zwift Academy finals content, which has been great. I'll tell you what, Dan, despite having been there and actually watched it unfold, I've quite enjoyed it.
We've both been sat at home like, this is really good.
This is really good,
we were
yeah.
There, knew everything that happened.
That's right. Fortunately, you lot seem to have agreed by and large. So yeah, thank you very much for the support and watching and sharing and telling your mates and better halves.
Yeah, indeed. And we've picked out a few comments from the final episode. Crease says, I can only repeat what other comments already mentioned. Two incredibly talented riders, and this show was epic to watch. Every day I looked forward to the next episode. Did not experience anything like that on YouTube before. And for that, as we said right at the end of the final video, we've got a lot of people to thank. So many were working extremely hard over the last few weeks to get that series up together, including on Saturday, I think people were still working for the final episode. So kudos to them, because we didn't do too much, so did we?
No, we didn't. Taylor Nicol said, sorry, I was just about to call him Maud, and then I realised that you made that mistake.
I did, yeah. I called her by 3 different pronunciations in the first 3 days of the event, for which I did apologise directly to her, but I think it's Maud.
It is Maud, yeah. Maud is freakishly talented and also seems to be the most relaxed rider too, which is a great combo. I think there's a link between being freakishly talented and relaxed in competitions, isn't it?
But anyway, if I had that talent.
Yeah, excited to see her rise through the ranks.
Yes, and I think that a lot of people are quite invested in our 2 winners now, aren't they? I'm really looking forward to seeing how they get on next year.
Yeah.
Count me in as one of those, because I really am looking forward to seeing how good they are against the current pros.
Yeah.
Jay wrote in and said, hats off to Sam. The big Diesel fought valiantly all week. In the end, though, Alex's tactical prowess and sheer ability shone through. Only 19 years old, Alps and Phoenix look to have a great talent on their hands.
Yeah. You know, I think one of the reasons why everyone was not everyone, a lot of people were rooting for Sam as the Diesel is I think a lot of us can recognise ourselves in him. Maybe not anywhere near as good as him, but that kind of like, you know, just having a big engine, but maybe lacking the kind of like the punch, the final kick from sprinters who are really annoying.
You did show him
know
a
what
lot of empathy, I must admit, Si.
Genuinely, yeah. It was, yeah. I mean, they were all a super talented bunch, weren't they? But yeah, Sam really went for it with some of those bold moves early on, and then Joachim London. Got to say, awesome series. Though I didn't get the surprise elimination. I just find it cruel.
Yeah, we did have a few comments saying that
Yeah.
you didn't like the eliminations, but other people did. We were in two minds, weren't we, about that? At the end of the day, there were always going to be 4 losers, 4 male and 4 female on the very final day. Don't know what I think about it at the moment.
No, let it be said that we were in constant conversation with the judges all week, and I think if they'd said we can't eliminate anyone because we don't know who, then we would have changed plans.
Yeah, we would have
So,
done, yes. And
so,
I was
yeah.
very glad that it was them making these decisions and not me. I mean, it's hard enough just delivering the decision to the contestants, wasn't it? Let alone having
absolutely.
to make it.
Yeah.
And moving on to the bike packing challenge, cheap and simple versus unlimited budget. Tito Mon put, I couldn't stop laughing every time Ollie was showing off his glamping accommodation. Whilst Pete Wilmot, well, he's basically quoted a small part of the video, so I think we'll show that to you again now.
Yeah.
You're not going to be out there in nature, you know. I'm going to be there with the nocturnal animals and the wild winds and the stars. You're not going to experience that, I don't think.
No, I'm not. You're right. That was a cracking video, that, wasn't it?
It was very
Like,
good,
you
yes.
really, really should watch it if you haven't already, because, well, it was funny, but also, actually, it made you want to go out and ride your bike, which is a pretty good sign of a video, I think, in my book.
Inspirational.
Indeed.
Pete finishes off his comment by saying, so cool, Ollie dropping his vibe right there. I'm not sure if that was a deliberate use of the word dropping, but anyway. Right, coming up on the channel this week on Wednesday, we are going to show you how to keep your feet warm. And that is something that I will be watching because I still find it quite hard to keep my feet warm on a ride to this day.
Well, don't buy those new
winter
Adidas
booties do genuinely help, don't they?
They do, but just
Wish they'd
don't
been around when I was racing.
Don't buy those new Adidas shoes.
No, they keep you cool. Thursday, top 10 clues that you bought the wrong sized bike.
Oh, interesting.
I don't know if I'd want to watch that if I had a hunch that I'd bought the wrong sized bike.
If you had a hunch. Get it? That's one of them, Dan. That's one of them.
And on Friday, 100 kilometres and 100-mile Guinness record attempt from James McDonald.
Ooh, there we go.
On a track.
On a track, yeah. Saturday, it says here, bloopers reel, but I can't quite understand that because I'm pretty sure we don't make any mistakes.
No,
so there
none at all.
must be some mistake there. Then on Sunday, I'm so excited about this. Can we, and by we I mean Alex Payton, beat the hour record, but with an e-bike? Which, when you think about it, you're like, well, yeah, of course you can. But then no. Even with a de-restricted e-bike, a 500 watt-hour battery, how many watts is Alex Payton going to need to ride at 55 kilometres an hour?
What type of bike?
It is the only de-restricted bike that we got, which is the Canyon Grail. So he did, it's good. And over on the Tech Channel also, there's a video about the modifications that he made to get the Grail hour record pace worthy. So yeah, do check that one out.
It sounds like it hangs in the balance.
It does indeed. Well, yeah, and then on Monday, we've got a huge event for you actually here on GCN. You get to watch one of our exclusive GCN Plus films for free here on YouTube as like a little Christmas treat. There's 2, in fact, coming up, but the first one is on Monday, and it is the Columbia Andes adventure. Jenny, Graham and I went to Columbia, well, a while ago now, actually, pre-pandemic, just.
Cheeky freebie there for you at Christmas.
Yeah.
Don't tell us we don't give you anything.
Oh, yeah, don't do that. But no, enjoy, because, I don't know. It's all right, I think.
It's a very good film, yeah. Do make sure you watch it if you're not a GCN Plus subscriber, because if you are, I'm sure you already have watched it. But talking about GCN Plus, which you do still have to pay for to subscribe, we have got a lot of racing for you in the cyclocross side of things this coming week, including on Boxing Day, which is the first time that you'll be able to see Mathieu van der Poel and Wout van Aert going head-to-head, along with Tom Pidcock, of course, and many, many others, for this cyclocross season.
Who's your money on?
Well, my money's on Wout van Aert because he's got his season off to a flying start, whereas Van der Poel is still recovering from Mallorca.
That's right, yeah. And I can't see Pidcock beating those two yet. But maybe
No,
he's
I
gonna
can't
prove me wrong.
either as things stand, unless he starts to make more improvements from the start of his season. But still, we'll wait and see.
I can't wait. I cannot wait.
Also, a reminder that gift subscriptions are now available for GCN Plus. So, if you're looking for that last-minute gift for a cycling lover that you know,
A cycling lover?
somebody that loves cycling, yes, not necessarily one of your cyclists that you love, but it can be. Anyway, I'm digging a hole here. But
You
they're
are,
available
yeah.
on shop.globalcyclingnetwork.com.
Right then, Dan.
Yeah.
That's nearly the end of the show. But
Already?
we've got
It's only been 45 minutes.
Extreme Corner once again for you this week. This time, it's got a slightly festive element to it. Enjoy. Whoa! Nailed those doubles there. There we go. Thank you very much, Chris, for sending that in. Those are Christmas rides in Christmas costumes from Christchurch, New Zealand.
Not the most extreme corner I've ever seen in my life. It was basically some small doubles, wasn't it, with somebody wearing a Christmas outfit. But,
Well, yeah, but come on. You know, we don't often see riders getting their wheels off the ground on GCN Show.
no, that is very true. I probably couldn't do those doubles, let's be fair.
No, you definitely couldn't, Dan. Even though you actually have the same bike currently as Chris. Dan's borrowed a trail bike for Christmas.
have,
Will
yeah.
he get air?
I've borrowed Doddy's. I'm going to cut the handlebars right down. They're far too wide and stick some bar ends on there for him. All right, we're waffling on now and I can't even speak properly anymore. So to bid you farewell and wish you a very happy Christmas.
Indeed, yeah. Happy Christmas, everyone. And we'll see you again next week.